She was perhaps the most iconic Big Brother contestant of all time, thanks to her infectious personality and memorable one-liners. But behind closed doors, Nikki Grahame was battling a lifelong struggle with anorexia. And sadly, she died last year at the age of 38. Well, tonight, a new documentary celebrating Nikki's life reveals for the first time the true extent of her illness. Well, Nikki's mum, Sue, joins us now. Hi, Sue.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming in. I know this is an incredibly difficult conversation that we're about to have for you, but you wanted to be here, didn't you? Because it's sort of Nikki wanted to help other people.
Yes, she did. And before she died, she said that when I get well, I'm going to, in my spare time, go around to schools to talk to youngsters, to teenagers, to say, don't do this. There's no guarantees, you know, it won't make you popular, it won't make you happy. It will just rob you of your life.
But it's interesting, that thing where you say she said, don't do this, as if it was a choice, but it wasn't really a choice for her, was it? And when did you first, how old was she when you first maybe noticed that there was something, you know, wrong?
I first noticed when Nikki was about 7.5, maybe just before her 8th birthday, that she... First of all, it was the expression on her face. She just became terribly sad. And I couldn't understand what was going on. And then she just began to get smaller. And the school was saying that she was struggling in class because she couldn't concentrate on what was happening. And so that was really where the battle began then. You know.
And did you get a diagnosis at that point, or...?
I think I knew what was going on, but unfortunately, she was a victim of her time. You know, 38, 39 years ago, it was unheard of, you know, for children to...
You were just getting told off for not eating if you didn't finish your food, and there was a sort of real, very relaxed view on people who did eat too much or people who didn't eat enough, and I don't think those words were ever referred to a lot in those days.
Do you feel like the outcome would have maybe been different if it was more commonly known for someone of her age?
I think for a lot of girls it may be. But I've done lots of thinking about this, and I somehow feel that in some ways this was Nikki's path, because the minute I took her to the doctor and he looked at her and said, tell me what you've had to eat today. And basically he was saying it's going through a phase, it's faddy eating. That was where the true battle began, because trying to get people to see what was going on. Just because she's young doesn't mean to say that she can't suffer as badly as a teenager or whatever.
I know this might sound like a strange thing to say, because obviously it's terribly sad what's happened with Nikki, but I found the documentary, I thought it was a beautiful story. I think it really was, because we were reminded of what an extraordinary person she was, wasn't she? I mean, just watching all those old clips in it, and I was imagining how difficult that must be for her. But also, it's very, very poignant, because it really does tell us so much that I think people still don't know about anorexia, and that's
true. And also what made Nikki tick, because it was her upbringing. I didn't raise her. I didn't. You know, I lost her. She disappeared at 8, and I kind of got her back full-time when she was 18.
Because you said you say in the documentary you actually lost count of how many facilities she'd had to go to. What I find amazing is, and maybe I'm wrong, I never remember her saying any of this in Big Brother. No. You just thought she was the happiest person in the world.
The only time I saw her talking about it on TV, I think she had a conversation with Vanessa.
Yes, yeah.
But, you know, this is what was so sweet about Nikki, is that she never was a victim.
She never portrayed herself as a victim, because I was a Big Brother fan, and I watched those, and she was at her happiest, and I believe her friends in the documentary talk about thinking that was her at one of her happiest places, and I really enjoy the confidence she had. And I know we watched that clip again and again, but it still makes us all smile, and we just go, that's so real.
My daughters, who were tiny when she was on Big Brother, they come to me and show me clips of her because she just had so... No, they do.
She was so authentic.
Yeah. One of the things you said there was the Nikki that everyone loved, and then there was the alter ego. Tell us something about the alter ego. What did it do to her?
Well, I said a moment ago that for some girls, maybe lads, you know, they'll get anorexia at a much younger age. I mean, it's getting worse, but I think Nikki, she was an expert. This is what I discovered from day one. She knew. She knew all about this illness, how to wear baggy clothes, how to put food in the socks in the pockets, go out for a walk and get shot of her meals. And to this day, I think it must have been in her.
Yeah.
And because we didn't have phones, it wasn't something she could Google or anything like that.
You say you believe she was born
mastered
with it.
Yeah. She mastered the art of how to have this illness.
From the start.
Wow.
She was an expert. Yeah, but it did. When Nikki was good, she was great, but she was always a little bit troubled, always very aware of what she ate, and this horrible illness was so controlling.
It must have been so hard for you, because, I mean, one doctor at Great Ormond Street said she was the worst case he'd ever seen.
Yeah.
But as a mother, to see this, it's almost like a monster inside her that you can't do anything about. It must have been incredibly difficult for you.
Well, it was really, really tough, because I didn't just have Nikki. I had Natalie, Nikki's elder sister, at home. And it was really hard on her because the illness took me away.
Yeah.
And I tried whenever I possibly could. When Nikki was in a unit and she was being cared for and she was safe, I'd say to Natalie, quick, let's go away for a week. I need to recharge, because I knew Nikki was safe. But it was so hard on Natalie. And it kind of left its mark. You know, it changed the relationship between Natalie and I. And it didn't matter how many times I said to Natalie, you know, had it have been you, I would have done exactly the same. But I think it really affected her badly.
And was Nikki quite accepting of going to therapy and in rehab? Was she actually, again, in a safer place in her head when she was there?
God, no. No, Nikki fought.
Really?
Oh, she gave the battle royal. Didn't matter which unit she was in. She gave it her best. Yeah. You know, still up to all the tricks, but the tricks had become much more clever. And it was only when she was about 16, I think, she ran away from a place. And I opened the front door and she was standing there. It was in the middle of winter, summer dress and flip-flops. And I said, why are you here? She said, I've run away. I said, Nikki, come on. And
she was such a character. But I just want to say again, thank you so much, because I think you talking like this, you know, in lockdown, instances of eating disorders have shot up. And I think the documentary is really, really important, and thank you very, very much for coming to talk to us, because I know it's been incredibly difficult. So Nikki Grahame, Who Is She? That airs tonight at 9 p.m. on Channel 4. And if you at home have been affected by Nikki's story, then all of the helplines that you need are on the website. Thanks again, Sue.